Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and today we've got a combination that I really don't know what we're going to see from it. These shells have really struggled so far in our testing, but this is a strange enough of a shotgun and choke combo to where these might really like it, or it could absolutely ruin whatever semblance of a pattern we would have had in the first place from them. So I really don't know quite what we're going to see. But as for the shells I've got today, I brought out some of these, the B&P Magnum Turkey shells. They are a 12 gauge, 3-inch, 2-ounce payload of lead 6s, moving about 1175 feet per second. And to be honest with you, right off the bat, these have probably been some of the worst performing turkey shells that we've ever tested. Now, to be fair, I believe these particular ones are somewhere between $10 and $15 a box. So I don't know, call it $13 a box. They're definitely not a high-end turkey shell, but when they pattern like a waterfowl shell does and cover the entire pallet size sheet of paper, they're not a great turkey shell. So I don't have the highest of hopes for them, but this combo today might just be strange enough to where it really works out with these. So I guess we'll see what happens. And as for that setup, we're going to run those through today. I brought out my Mossberg 835 Ulti-Mag, but for a choke, we've got this one, which is a Rectifire Cyclone, and it's a 660 constriction. Now initially, doesn't seem too strange, but these 835s are overboard to a 10 gauge bore size, so having a 660 choke out here is really tight for an 835. That's a lot of constriction right down at the end of the barrel right there, because typically a lot of turkey chokes we see for an 835 are between 680 and 700 constriction, with that 690-ish being the very common typical turkey choke constriction. So this is essentially like the equivalent of having a 640 in a normal 12 gauge bore. It's a lot of choke right at the end of the barrel, so I don't know, that might help these out, or that combination of overboard with a lot of constriction right at the end here might completely blow our pattern all over the place. I don't know what we're going to get, but we'll see what happens. So as for today's test, everything's set up the same as usual. I've got the turkey target at 40 yards and the chronograph so we can get our velocity. So let's get you guys a view of that target and see if this combination works out. I don't have the highest of hopes for these shells, but I don't know what we're going to get. So let's take our shot and see what kind of pattern it gives us. Alright, so that shell gave us 1241 through the chrono. The boss claim is 1175. So we are a little bit above that boss claim, but still not too far out of the realm of reason. And 1241 for a load of lead 6s isn't really pushing them too fast just yet. So looking decent up here for velocity, but what kind of pattern did that combo give us down at 40? Let's go check it out and see what we got. Alright, well, now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and this is about what I expected to see out of these, to be honest with you. Now, yes, our quote-unquote core, our middle of our pattern, might be a little bit off to the left there, but I don't think it mattered one bit. We still covered the entire paper here with shot all over the place. Now, sure, we would have still gotten that turkey. There's 2 through the brain and several more down the spine that would have absolutely gotten him. The problem is you may have gotten the entire flock of turkeys at the same time, and that is not at all what you want. And even if this turkey was by himself, his entire body would be covered in pellets as well. So you would have a lot of pellets in your meat there. So I guess I'll bring you guys in here so you can kind of see what's going on. Even though it covers the entire paper, our core is just a wide splotch of shot. It's got a ton of gaps and voids in it all over the place. It's not even or uniform. There's really no condensed area to it whatsoever. Outside of that, the entire pattern is just one big flyer all over the place. Literally, the entire paper is covered in pellets from top to bottom, and that paper is 36 inches wide by about 44 inches tall or so, and we covered it all. So even if we were a touch farther over to the right, we still would have had the entire paper covered. So yeah, I think it's about what I expected to see, but there was always the possibility that quite a bit tighter of a choke in the 835 would help these out, and it really did not. Now sure, these are a $10 to $15 box of shells, so we shouldn't expect them to be super high quality or anything, but I mean, a Winchester Super X shell that's $10 or $11 a box will outperform this by miles. So yeah, this is just absolutely terrible. Not a turkey shell that I would ever want to take out into the woods. Again, would it get you the turkey? Sure, but you might get a bunch of turkeys at the same time, or have a lot of issues with your meat. And we've tested these shells through tight choke chokes, more open chokes, middle of the road chokes, ported, non-ported, chokes that have little step rings inside of them, and pretty much whatever other combination of stuff you want to say about a choke. We've tried these shells through it, and every single pattern has looked like this. So if you're in the market for a cheap budget turkey shell, these are not the way to go. And I believe the way they're loaded is probably a big culprit of that. Now, yes, they are nickel plated, but I don't think they have any buffer material, and the wad is not at all ideal for a turkey shell. And we'll take a look at that here in a second, but that pattern right there pretty much speaks for itself. There ain't a whole lot more I can say about it. You covered the entire paper, you would have gotten the turkey, but that is not at all the turkey pattern that I would ever want to see in one of my setups. And here's the wad from that shell, and right off the bat you can tell that it's just a straight up like field style wad, or a wad you would find in a trap load or something like that, which these shells are Italian and they do make some pretty good upland or skeet shells, but I think they should probably kind of stick to that range because their turkey shells are not great. But a field or a trap style wad is not what we generally like to see in a turkey shell, and with 2 ounces worth of payload, I have no doubt that we have pellets stacked way above the wad. So when this combo takes off, this wad pushes through it and just blows the entire top half of our shot column all over the place here. So not at all what you really want in a turkey shell. Now sure, this would make a great field load or a great upland load, lead 6s in a wad like that with a pattern like that, but this is not really what you want in a good performing turkey shell. Alright y'all, well, what do you think about that result right there? Like I just mentioned, that is not what you want to see in a turkey shell. Would it technically get the job done and get you the turkey? Sure, it would, but we've already discussed the fact that you might take multiple of them out with it, and that's not at all what you want. Now sure, that would make a great like field or upland load. I mean, that pattern right there, flying down range at a dove or a quail or anything like that, they're not making it through that. But for a turkey pattern, that ain't what I'm looking for. And even for a field load, a little over $1 a shell just isn't worth it in the vast majority of cases. So I guess there was the slight potential that this combination would have worked out with an overboard 835 and a much tighter 660 choke, but clearly it didn't help these whatsoever. That's the same pattern we've always seen out of them. No matter what choke or shotgun we've ran them through, it's all pretty well been the same results. So I'm definitely not too surprised here, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Is that about what you expected out of these? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of these B&P Magnum turkey shells, and if so, what kind of results have you seen from them? And would you hunt with that pattern the way it is, or is that just way too open and all over the place for you like it is for me? Let me know all your thoughts down below. At the end of the day, that's a pretty terrible turkey pattern, and it pretty well speaks for itself. We can't really sugarcoat that one. That just isn't what you want to see in a turkey combination. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.